The exceptional natural beauty has made the heart of the Ardennes and La Roche-en-Ardenne popular for visitors. In this part of the Belgian Ardennes, the river Ourthe draws large, graceful loops in the typical Ardennes landscape. From the 19th century, the first tourists came to La Roche-en-Ardenne to enjoy the mountains and the castle above the town. The early visitors were the founders of tourism in La Roche and its prosperity. Hotels were built, restaurants were opened, and the tourist office was established. So we think a perfect central point for our Battle of the Bulge tour. You will find some nice restaurants and bars in the center of La Roche, but also don't forget to cross the river to this Place du Midi, where you will find other bars, restaurants and nice terraces. From the main street of La Roche, Rue Chamon, you can turn into this side street and then it's a steep climb up to the entrance of the castle. The Chateau Féodale de La Roche was built between the 11th and the 14th century and is entirely built out of slicks. And as you can see here, how they are stacked. The castle was inhabited until the end of the 18th century, when it was stripped by the inhabitants of La Roche, taking out all the materials that they could use. And only at the end of the 20th century, the tourist value of the castle was recognized and they started clearing it and making it as accessible. From the castle you have a beautiful view on the charming little town of La Roche-en-Ardenne and the river Ourthe. And you can see that the castle dominates this valley as it is situated between the river in the loop of the river Ourthe and the steep hills of the Dijster Hill. We chose La Roche-en-Ardenne as the central point for our Battle of the Bulge tour, as La Roche was situated right in the middle of the actual Bulge that the German forces created in the winter of 1944-45. It was a surprise attack on the Allied forces on their way to Germany after liberating Belgium in September 1944. Starting on December 16, 1944, the German forces tried to break through the Allied forces through the snow-covered Ardennes. The German forces wanted to reach the River Meuse so they could go to Brussels and Antwerp. And this attack literally formed a bulge in the Allied line over the Ardennes. The German troops did not succeed and did not reach the River Meuse. As in January 1945, the Allied forces counterattacked with the Battle of the Bulge. It was the largest battle of World War II altogether, with 1 million men and 1,000 tanks. At the end of January 1945, the Allied forces pushed back the Germans, liberating the Ardennes and Belgium again. Of course, we will get to some more very interesting memorials and museums in our two rides that we are doing here in our Battle of the Bulge tour. But this museum, right in the middle of La Roche, is a very good starting point if you want to know more about the Battle of the Bulge. It tells the story of the Battle of the Bulge and how La Roche was almost razed to the ground. And it is the only museum that pays attention to the British troops who were involved. And of course, we will share the link with you. La Roche had a small ceramics industry, also adding to the fame of La Roche, les grès bleus, the blue sandstone. And normally you will be able to discover the history of the pottery, les Grès de La Roche, here in this museum through live scenes and an audio guide, but it is under construction in 2022. The Ardennes, and therefore La Roche, are also famous for its salted ham. And in the same museum you will get an insight on the production process of that ham. And of course you can taste the ham here in the different restaurants and different dishes, or just go to a butchery and buy the ham. Another thing that you might want to try is la Féodale de La Roche. It's local beer. It comes in blonde and brun, 6.5% and 7.5% alcohol. And the name is related to the feudal castle, which dates back to the period of feudalism. And you will see that a lot of bars and restaurants will have the beer where you can taste it. Besides these highlights, we also have a separate video on the 6 hotels we want to recommend in La Roche-en-Ardenne, of course, all with suitable parking for your bike. If you like this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel with turning on the notifications, so we will see you on another crazy ride.